inside Mama's house. Go!
Okay, so for me on mine, I took off the attachment, made all this job a lot easier to get to everything, and just don't have that attachment on the end of it, making it hard to move it around. So the other thing with taking the attachment off the end of it, I was able to change the oil nicely, because you can control the machine. So basically I just undid this, get a proper receptacle to put your oil in, and just tilt that over the, say, top of a coffee can or something, and then you can drain the oil out. Okay, in this video I needed some type of way to put oil into the weed eater, a 4-stroke. So it needs 30 weight oil. So I got my dad's fancy cool old oil can, and we're going to clean it up before I dump some new oil in it. So we're going to take the lid off. Actually, I already cleaned it up, so, but thought it'd be cool to show you a quick video on how oil cans work. So inside here, the oil goes in, has a pipe on the bottom for getting the oil up to the pump. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the spout. Alright, and then this is the trigger. I already loosened it up. So we're going to take that out. And when it comes out, they're pretty cool actually. It's got a centered piece on here with a spring, and here's the oil device that's inside of it. So what I did was get your goggles and got some cleaner, parts cleaner, fast drying, and sprayed everything out, sprayed it in here, cleaned all this out good, cleaned this out good, cleaned the whole piece off. Did the same with the spring and the pump. And the trigger. After I cleaned it all up, cleaned out the can, readjusted the lights some so we can see what's going on. Alright, so the way this guy works is you got the piston piece here and the spring goes down in here, the piston piece goes in here inside the gun, and then you can hear it when the piston moves. Alright, so that's basically how an oil gun works. Pretty simple actually, I never really looked at it. So to get it back together, gotta line up this hole on the top, put this guy back in, the spout. Alright, then what happens with this piece here, pretty cool. It has to align inside this so it stays inside of it, and the piston piece hangs in there after you get it in there. So I was a little worried when I first took it off if I could get this back together, but actually the simplicity of it works pretty good. So you got your spring, It's going to go in the mount. Next is going to be the piston, and the spring slides all the way down in here. And he's going to start in there. Oops. And he's going to start in. Alright, then this trigger gets locked on here. As such, and then we're going to push the trigger in, compress the spring, and screw this guy back on. Alright, we'll get our wrench. Make sure he's on there pretty good. And tighten up the spout. And for prosperity, I did do this on Christmas on 2021. Here's the weed eater. Here's the oil filler. And the cap's right here. So what I'm going to do is, it takes only maybe a little less than 2.5 ounces of oil, which is not much. So I figure with the oil can, we'll be able to get it right in there without spilling it, and we'll see what happens when we put some oil in the can. Alright, actually the seal on the old can is not in the best shape anymore, but we're going to use it anyway. Put him on there, put the lid back on. Okay, we're going to see if it works. And we're going to try to squirt some in. There goes. Alright, so what you don't want to do is overfill it. So let me grab a flashlight or get a little bit better light. Okay, so the instructions show how to fill the oil in there, oil level window. So that's what we're looking for on the side of it, so we'll take a look. And right now, I don't know if we can see the level of the oil. What's in it? I guess you can see a little bit of it right there. So the instructions say to keep this flat. So we're going to start putting some oil back in it. And here's the handy oil can. See if I can get a little bit better light on the level. Actually, you can see the oil level right there. And it looks like it's sitting pretty flat where the oil is even in the window. So I would say maybe 1 or 2 more squirts. Try that. I think we got it pretty good. Let's go double check. Let me double check the picture real quick in the manual. And it shows it halfway in the window. And here's the picture of it. You want to make sure that it's level. Can't really get the light. I guess the best shot for everybody is down in here. And we should be good to go. Alright, we're going to put the cap back on. And I think just for fun, I'll kind of slosh it around a little bit, make sure that it stays at that level. And should be able to see it in there. Sitting, well, I can tell about halfway, which is good. So, like I said, what I really stressed over was attempting to pour that in there and getting the right amount and having to look at it. But get yourself an oil can and make sure it's got fresh oil in it, which is why I cleaned it. Yeah, I didn't notice this before, but notice that they have it sitting with the attachment hanging off the bench. So, like I said, it seems way easier to me to take that attachment off the end of it, because it's not so cumbersome. And I did put up one of these racks in the garage to hold the weed eater, but evidently it doesn't work for me, because what happened was, hopefully we can see it, the oil leaked out of it. I had to clean it up, and now I got an oil mess, and guess I'll have to set it someplace else where it's flat. But that hook didn't work for me.
Yeah!